everyone, welcome to Monica's Singapore Kitchen. Today I will be baking crispy, flaky and delicious Sar Piah. Sar in Hokkien means mung beans and Piah means biscuits. The fragrant mung bean paste is encrusted with a multi-layered thin flaky crust. Whenever we visit Penang, we never fail to return to Singapore with boxes of traditional Sar Piah for gifting and for our own enjoyment. Come along with me to see how this Sar Piah is made. First, let's make the filling. We need a split bean paste. When you buy it from the supermarket, you bring it back and then to wash it twice. And rinse it, give it a good stir, and then we discard the water. Then add in some water, sufficient water for soaking about 1 inch from the surface of the mung beans. Okay, so we can soak it for 4 hours. So 4 hours later, you can see that the mung beans have got swollen in size, bigger in size, and we'll just drain the water. We don't need the water because we're going to steam it. Okay. So then put it inside a steamer and steam it for 40 minutes. "40 minutes later, our mung beans are soft, so we are ready to bring it out to mash them. Okay, so when you just give it a gentle squeeze, it's a bit powdery and very soft. So you can use a spatula or a food processor to mash it up. Okay, it forms something like this. Yep, our mung bean has already been mashed, just like what you do for mashed potatoes. So there you go, that's our mung bean paste. Then the other ingredients are sugar. Yeah, so we need some sugar. There are also minced shallots, about 60 grams of minced shallots, 2 grams of pepper, 2 grams of salt, and 120 grams of cooking oil. So all these ingredients will go into making the mung bean paste. Heat up the oil. Put in the minced shallots. Stir fry until it reaches golden brown in color. So once it looks something like this, golden brown, put in the mung bean. Give it a nice stir. So the diced onions are very fragrant. So put in the sugar as well, pepper, and salt. So the mung beans are already cooked, so we need not stir fry for too long, as I did not add water in the steaming process. So we need not stir fry for a long process to dry the mung bean. So you just need to mix the ingredients thoroughly, and it takes about 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, it looks a little bit drier, and when you press it, you can see that the mung bean will stick together. This is the stage that we want to achieve. So I've also added about 5 grams of toasted sesame seeds. So once it's cooked after 5 minutes, we are going to pour this into a container to cool it. Okay, so let's put this aside for cooling and move on to the next stage where we prepare the dough. So there are two types of dough. One is the water dough, which we need 200 grams of all-purpose flour. Pour into a big container. 40 grams of icing sugar, 2 grams of salt, 70 grams of cooking oil. And at this point, we just give it a preliminary stir first before we add the water. So add the water a little bit at a time, as different flour will have different moisture content. Our mission is to get it into a pliable dough. Yep, so slowly stir like that until something like this. Yep. So it is nice and soft, but not too hard, not too soft, and also not too hard. So we then give it about a minute or so of kneading until our bowl is nice and clean. Okay, so at this stage, we can then wrap it with cling wrap to prevent drying. And we're going to rest this for about 20 minutes. So put this aside. Then, okay, that's the water dough. Then our oil dough, we only need 2 ingredients. One is the all-purpose flour and the other one is cooking oil. So you try to add about 160 grams of all-purpose flour first and then gauge the consistency of our oil dough. So if the flour is not enough, you will just add them a little bit at a time. Yep, we want to get it into a point where we can actually separate them into individual pieces. So it looks like it's a little bit wet, so I'm going to add the last 30 grams of flour. So all in all, I've added 190 grams of flour. This is a perfect consistency that I want. So okay, gather the pieces together and then wrap this dough in a cling wrap as well. Okay, so then we are going to put this 2 dough, the water dough and the oil dough, to rest for 20 minutes. Okay, so after 20 minutes, we can start working on the water dough. So this is the water dough. So we are going to divide this into 24 pieces. Each piece is about 15 grams in mass. So pour a little bit of flour to prevent sticking. And then all we need to do is to roll it into an even log. Okay, press it a bit flat like that so that I can divide this dough longitudinally into 2 pieces first. Use a dough cutter. That makes it much more easy. Okay, then you divide it into 24 pieces, even pieces. Then take one piece and gently roll it into a smooth ball. Okay, something like this. And then put it aside. Do the same for all the other balls until you reach the last one. Okay, so this is the water dough, all nicely rolled into balls. Now we work on our oil dough. Also shape it into an even log. You can always flour the surface to prevent sticking. So So flatten it a little bit so that we can cut it longitudinally into 2 even pieces. And then divide it into 24 pieces. Each piece is about 11 grams. Then take one piece and roll it into a smooth ball. Like this. Put it aside to join the water dough balls. So continue to do the rest until you reach the 24th ball. So remember to cover all your balls with cling wrap. So now we are ready to wrap the water dough around the oil dough. So take one piece of the water dough and one corresponding piece of the oil dough. Press the water dough gently into a disc of about 3 inches in diameter. Then put the oil dough at the center and wrap it in whichever way that you are comfortable with. You can pinch the edges together like that, like what I'm doing here. Okay, so important is to make sure that it doesn't have any cracks or leaks. Yeah, so you just pinch them nicely like so. Okay, and then just give it a gentle roll to form into a smooth ball. Okay, put it aside and continue to do the same thing for the other corresponding pairs until you reach the last 24th ball. Okay, so let's put it aside. Remember to cover all these balls. Then take one sphere and remember to put the wrap side upwards, facing upwards. Put a little bit of flour and use a flat rolling pin from the center, roll up and roll down to spread the oil dough evenly within the water dough. Then roll it up, turn 90 degrees, give it a gentle press, and the same thing from the center, roll up, and from the center, roll down. Yep, so you get a longer strip like that. Then roll it up and put this aside. Underneath a cling wrap. So do the same for all the other pieces until you reach the last piece. So we need to rest it for 20 minutes. This is important because we want to relax the dough, and it makes it so much simpler to roll it out later after 20 minutes. So cover it with cling wrap. So meantime, we are going to deal with our filling. So I have divided my filling into 24 pieces. Each piece is about 30 grams. Okay, so now after resting for 20 minutes, use our forefinger, press the center and fold the two edges upwards and inwards, like so. Then use a rolling pin to gently roll it into a disc with the edges a little bit thinner than the middle part. So it's about, I would say, about 4 to 5 inches in diameter. Okay, and smoothen the edges. Yep. Then we are going to wrap the filling inside our dough. So the point is to gather the edges together, pinch them together so that the filling is completely encrusted with the dough. Yeah, completely covered with the dough. Yep, something like that. Okay, and then try to shape it so that it looks tall and looks nice. Yeah, tall and very proud kind of thing, yeah, standing right up. So put it on a tray that is covered with, lined with baking paper. So then put it inside the oven, 190 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, top bottom heat, middle rack and no fan. So meantime, we are going to crack an egg. This is to make the egg wash. So all we need to do now is to gently beat the egg. No need to fluff it out until airy, yeah? This is just egg wash. So once you reach this stage, so we are going to put it aside and check our Sar Piah. So 10 minutes later, our Sar Piah is ready for egg wash. So just use a soft brush and brush the top, the sides all the way down, yeah, for everyone. Okay, then put it back into a 190 degree Celsius oven for 20 minutes. Top bottom heat, no fan, in the middle rack. Minutes later, our Sar Piah looks ready. Wow! Look at our golden brown Sar Piah. They look so adorable, don't you think so? And they smell so good. It is best eaten freshly out from the oven. You can keep for 3 days without refrigeration and a week in the refrigerator. Whenever you want to enjoy them, just pop them into the microwave at 700 watts for a minute and then crisp them up in a toaster at 180 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. Let's take one and let's taste it. Yep. Look at the beautiful layered pastry. It is sweet and savory at the same time. My all-time favorite pastry. The beauty about making our own is that we can adjust the size, sugar content, and the type of oil that we use. I opted for a healthier version by substituting lard with corn oil. Hope you give this recipe a try, and as always, happy cooking!